Steak is prized as the king of all meats, and it can be surprisingly affordable if you choose a less expensive cut. In addition to tasting delicious, steak is also very versatile and can be prepared in a number of different ways. The only real downside to a steak dinner can be the leftovers. Unfortunately, some time spent in the microwave can ruin even the most succulent of steaks. So how do you reheat the popular protein without it becoming tough or overcooked? While you could always just use the steak cold, sliced thin in a sandwich or atop a salad, sometimes you might just want to enjoy a proper steak dinner all over again without sacrificing taste or texture. Well, fear not. We're here to advise.
Tell that cook you better not screw up them steaks. We're kind of particular about our meat.
One simple method for reheating steak requires only a zip-top bag, a food thermometer, and a pot of water. Just take your steak out of the fridge and let it warm up to room temperature for about 30 minutes. This lessens the amount of time it will need to warm up while cooking, thus reducing the possibility of overcooked meat. After the steak has reached room temperature, put it into a Ziploc or other heat-safe baggie and squeeze all the air out before sealing it up tight. Fill a pot with water, then bring the water temperature to 130 degrees. This is below a simmer, so nowhere near boiling. Once the water reaches the right temperature, immerse your bagged steak and let it reheat for about 5 minutes, which should be just enough time for it to warm through. Basically, what you are doing here is using a simple sous vide technique without the fancy equipment.
It's a sous vide or water bath. It's used for poaching food at fixed low temperatures.
If you do have an actual sous vide machine, though, feel free to put that to use. You can also sous vide raw steak for perfectly tender meat, though you'll probably still need to finish it off in a pan if you want a nice sear. Then again, if you were to ask Food Network personality Courtney Rada the trick to warming up your leftover sirloin, she'd give you slightly different advice, telling First for Women, "Reheating your steak in the oven is the most foolproof method to ensure your leftovers are as flavorful and tender as they were the night before." In order to reheat via the oven method, you want to go with a low temperature over a longer time. Preheat the oven to 250 degrees, then place the steak on a wire rack, with that rack placed on a baking tray. Elevating the steak off the heated surface ensures that it will be evenly cooked on both sides with no flipping required. Check the steak after 20 minutes, though it may take up to 30 or more. Thicker steaks will require more warming time, thinner steaks less, but you'll need to keep an eye out to make sure your steak doesn't start to dry out. But what about the microwave? Originally hailed as an amazing way to cook everything under the sun, microwaves are no longer considered the ideal way to cook or reheat pretty much anything. But a microwave can actually do a decent job of reheating steak as long as you go about it the right way. The trick to reheating steak in the microwave and winding up with something tender and flavorful lies in adding extra moisture. Courtney Rada suggests saving the meat juices from when you first cook the steak, but if you don't have those on hand, you can use whatever steak sauce you prefer. Place the steak in a deep dish, drizzle it with meat juices or sauce, and cover the dish with plastic wrap or a microwave-safe lid. Reheat the steak on low to medium power in 30-second bursts until it's piping hot and juicy. So go on, give in to that steak craving with no fear of leftovers, since you now know how to make your steak taste almost as good the next day. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more MASH videos about your favorite foods are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.